Hello everybody, and I hope we are having a fantabulous Thursday. So today we're just going to talk about why I joined Scentsy and my Scentsy journey. So we're going to dive right into this story. So back in February of about 2018, my really good friend of mine, she sold Scentsy. And she had asked me and was like, hey, do you want to join? And at that time, I didn't even know what Scentsy was, to be honest. Like, I heard about it. I've seen it at her house, but that was about as far as that went. And they had a kit on sale for $49. So I was like, maybe not. I already was involved in another independent consultant business. So I didn't know. So I went home, had a talk with my wife, and we kind of figured out that, sure, why not, basically. So about February 27th of 2018 was when I first joined Scentsy. Was when I signed up for Scentsy. And, my kit came in. Now, again, remember, my kit was only $49. So with my first sponsor, my friend who got me to sign up, she had stuff, and she kind of got me set up on the right path. You know what I mean? So kind of told me the do's and the don'ts, a lot of the things I needed to do and stuff like that. So I was like, great, let's do it. You know, at this point, I'm in it. Still not really having a clue, because keep in mind, I still already have another independent consultant business that I'm working. So now I'm working 2 independent consulting businesses, and I believe I was in between jobs at this one point in time in my life. Wasn't really the best. So I joined, and I had a launch party. My kit came in, and it had a warmer, a wax bar, some catalogs, showcase brochures, my training guide, my product sheets, and some testers, I do believe. So that was like it. My kit consisted of maybe 8-9 items max. So cool, beans, right? I was excited. Had no real idea what I was doing. I had to basically read my training guide and to learn the business outside of the conversations that I've already previously had with her. So cool beans. So that was that. So I had a launch party. I did an event. Did a business networking event. It was a 2-day event. I did that. Got some sales, but when I first joined, I was like, I'm gonna do it. The kit is cheap, and it'll probably get her to stop asking me. And then I really wanted the free product, right? So I didn't really have a motive for joining. And you know, when you join an independent consultant business, you should at least have a plan. You should at least want to know why. I knew nothing about the business, really. I was big on candles even then. So I was just like, whatever, you know, most people. So I actually fell off. I fell inactive for 92 days. I was shy of my $200 mark. And I fell off for 92 days. So upon that 92 days, I, kind of got a heads up like, hey, if you don't, make your numbers by this time, you will become inactive. And basically what that means is you will no longer be able to sell Scentsy for a while. Okay, cool. So I tried. Now, mind you, keep in mind, I had a launch party. I was getting sales. I was buying things because I was always told that you should be your biggest customer. And I truly did believe that. I truly did believe that I should literally be my biggest customer. Especially in any business. But I didn't use the product as much, you can say. Like I said, I had testers, 1 wax bar, a warmer. So I didn't know really that, this is going to sound crazy, but I didn't even know that I can use my testers. I thought that my testers were supposed to be exactly what they were for people to test and smell and stuff like that, right? So cool. That was that. And for 92 days, I was inactive. So at this point, I realized I left my other direct sell company. I left by choice. That company is still flourishing and up and running. But I left. I made the decision that I, one, did not want to do two businesses. They were day and night. And I just chose to stick with Scentsy. Even with not being a part of Scentsy, I still chose Scentsy. So for 92 days, I had time to think. I had time to watch. I had time to plan. And that is exactly what I did. At that point in time, I realized like I wanted to take Scentsy very seriously. I did not want to miss out on another opportunity to make another dollar through Scentsy. I didn't want to miss out on another opportunity to meet somebody business-wise, to help me grow my business or anything like that. So I came up with master plans on what I was going to do when I was able to come back, because Scentsy kind of gives you a time frame. That's how I knew I had 92 days. I don't know why my time was 92 days. I don't know if that's all the time for everybody. I don't know any of that. All I know is when it was for me, it was 92 days. So as of September 1st, I was able to come back. So I did. And I could come back for free. So I came back and I didn't have to pay to reinstate. Let me rephrase it better. So again, I had 92 days to stress everybody out in my house on what I wanted to do in my Scentsy master plan. And I got really good support. I have a really good support system. And that is very important in this business, is to have really good support. So when I first joined, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this kit. It's going to be great. I didn't really look at it as making a lot of money. I just didn't. I really just didn't look at it like that. So I came back and I had a different plan. Making money to support my family, to take my family on vacation, is my goal through Scentsy. However it happens, that is what I want to do, and that's what I work my business for. So right now, my business is growing. So now I'm back in Scentsy. So here's the fun part of the story. So remember, I fell off for 92 days. So I come back. I call my first sponsor. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to come back. I don't see you. Come to find out, she fell off. I was like, what? My whole world came crashing down. I didn't know that that was a thing. I had no idea what level she was. I didn't know Scentsy came with levels. So I had no idea how this worked. So she gives me somebody else's name. I don't find this person. So I'm like, oh my God, is this not meant for me to come back? So I'm getting really discouraged. My wife is like, no, keep going, keep going, keep going. So she's like, no, you're going to find somebody who's going to be fine. I think for the first 3 days, I just kind of just sat there and looked at the names of the people that they gave me. And because what they'll do is you'll put in your zip code, and if you don't have a specific name, like I typed in these names that my first sponsor was giving me. By the way, we're still really good friends. I was typing in a name and I was like, I can't find this person. And then she was like, well, try this name. So then I even reached out directly to that person, never got an answer back. So I'm assuming she fell off as well, be that as it may. So I stumble upon the same person's name. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. I wanted somebody who was close to me, and I wanted somebody that I can, be able to reach out to, because I personally wanted somebody that was close to me that I need sometimes face-to-face interaction. I need to sit down and have a conversation, like a physical conversation with the person, whether it's Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, or wherever, my house. It didn't even matter. I just wanted to be able to have that with somebody. So what I did was I kept looking at her name, and then I was like, eh. Then I was looking at the other people's name and their pictures, and I was like, I don't think I want this person. This person doesn't seem right. I was like asking my mom. I was like asking my wife. I was like, what do y'all think about this person? So there's one particular young lady, her name kept popping up. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do what most people do. I typed her name in on Facebook. Yep, sure did. And at this time, we had shared one mutual friend. So again, I did what a normal person would do. I called that mutual friend. And I was just like, hey, so I see that you know this lady, and I need you to call me back because I have some questions about her. She never called back. So I was like, great. Now I'm stuck, not knowing who this person is, but she lives so close. That was my biggest part, was the distance she lived to my house. She lived really, 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 really close to my house. So I was like, bet. So I called her and I was like, hey, I see we have one mutual friend in common, and I also see you sell Scentsy. But prior to me even having this problem, not problem, but me even falling off, and when I started Scentsy, the mutual friend was like, hey, I know somebody who sells Scentsy too. She was telling me all about her. We never exchanged this person's name. It's just like a mutual common thing between most people, I'm assuming, that you don't say the name, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we never said her name. So we actually ended up talking about the same person. So when I had called and I left her a message, letting her know, hey, we both know this same person, and I really want to, talk to you. I'm really thinking about coming back to the Scentsy business. And so I was considering, you as my sponsor. Because if anybody knows with Scentsy, we just can't change our sponsors. So with that being said, I left her a voicemail. I never leave voicemails. I left her a voicemail. So now I was like, okay, I had 92 days to marinate on how I wanted my Scentsy business to go. And I wanted my Scentsy business to go with my first sponsor, because that's who I signed up with. That's who got me into the business. So why wouldn't I want to be under her? But life took a turn for her. She's okay, but she just fell off of her business, or whatever the case may be. So I was like, okay, whatever. So if it happened to me, it can happen to somebody. Cool. Got it. So she called me back and I was like, who is this? And she was really nice, like really, really, really nice. We talked on the phone for a couple of minutes. At this time, I had not chosen her as my sponsor. I logged back off the workstation and I'm just sitting there and I was like, well, whatever, we're having dinner. And we have a no phone rule at the table. But this particular day, I actually answered my phone. Like, I made the phone call before dinner anyway. So I was like, well, she calling back. If not, I was at that point ready to say, I guess Scentsy is not for me. Let me go back to my other my other independent consultant business. But I was not feeling them. Like, wasn't feeling them at all. So I was like, okay, I got this little kit that I got when I first started. I was like, well, I didn't know about like replacing wax and stuff like that. That was the least of my worries when I got my kit. I was like, kit, cute, warmer, cute, done. I'm in there. So she called me back and she was really nice. And she told me a little bit about herself. Just enough to get me to say, I will go ahead and select you as my sponsor. I feel I can learn a lot from you. Not that I didn't learn a lot from my first sponsor, because I did. She's obviously the one that got me into the business and wanting to do the business to begin with. So moving forward, I chose her as my sponsor. She called me back again. I think she called me back the next day, because at that time she was in school and I believe I was just starting school or something like that, however that happened. So we talked. She came over to my house. This was when Butter Pecan, I believe, was out. Butter Pecan and Amber Hollow. So those were two samples that she had brought me one day anyway. But, yeah, she had brought me two samples of Butter Pecan and Amber Hollow, but we'll talk about that in a whole nother video. But she had, came over and she was super nice. Told me over the phone that she never fell off and she's been with Scentsy for 5 years. And, she's telling me the positive things that Scentsy has done for her and her family and the trips that Scentsy has taken her on. And when I first joined Scentsy Family Reunion, was going to Anaheim, California. I was this close to going. Keep in mind, I had no idea about the business. None. No idea what a Scentsy Family Reunion was. The pictures look fun, and I just went to go to Disneyland. So that was going to be a thing. But I didn't go. So I was like, great, awesome, cool. I like small groups. She asked me a ton of questions, and I told her basically, now that I'm back in the business, this is what I want to do. These are my plans. My plans at this point was to maximize the best way to make money in this business. And of course, have fun while doing it. So I did that. And she gave me tons of tips. Tons of tips. One of those tips was to join the Scent and Woman of the Month Club. And as a consultant, we all know, well, or we should know, if we don't know, you're going to find out right now, that what the Scent and Woman of the Month kit is exactly what it sounds like. It's a kit that comes in every month for the consultants. And you get the scent that they have chosen in about 9 wax bars, the warmer that they have chosen, room spray, a tester, some scent stickers, and brochures. So I was like, okay, whatever. She knows what she's talking about. So I looked into it, and at that time, I didn't do it the first time because I was like, I don't know if I can afford it. I don't know how much it's going to cost and all this good stuff. You can kind of say I made up excuses when I first got back. But I believe in November, I got my first delivery of my Scent and Woman of the Month, and it was for the month of December. So it was when Mr. Frost had came out. And we had the mini warmer and the full-size warmer. We had that one. I got that one. I don't think I got anything before that. Yeah, because I came back. I don't think I did it in October. Probably not. But I know for a fact the first one I got was Mr. Frost. I was really excited about that. Y'all probably like, she's crazy. So now that I'm under my new sponsor, we had a really great conversation about everything. She was very open about the business. She gave me little tips and tricks about the business and just things that I can do as a person to maximize the best Scentsy business experience possible. And I'm still utilizing a lot of those things to this day. So fast forward again during my Scentsy journey. Rewind. During our very first meeting, she asked me if I was going to get the reinstatement kit. And I was like, the what? No idea that was a thing. That was not a part of the reinstatement speech that Scentsy gave me when I came back. So I was like, what's that? So she explained it to me. And I was like, sure. So that was probably the reason why I didn't get the kit the first time. Because I was like, reinstatement kit or sentiment, I don't know. So I don't know what the sentiment was, but I had a visual of what the reinstatement kit was. So I got that. That consisted of another warmer, I do believe, some testers, some showcase brochures and stuff like that. So it was very little, but to kind of get you back out there. So had another party, and now I'm in it. So now it's about December, and I've had my relaunch party. I had an online party. This is also when we were able to make like all samples for everything. So I just had, when I first got back, because I was always taught, you should be your biggest customer. And I was like, well, remember I had 92 days to kind of think and to kind of look and to kind of observe. So that's what I did. And then one of the things I seen people doing, they were making samples. I had no idea that this was even a thing. They were making mold samples. I was not there yet. They were making layered samples. I was like, what is that? So I had time to think and ponder and overthink and over ponder. So when it finally came my turn to do this, I had a sample bar at my party. And we had, I think, 5 different samples, from washer whiffs to lotion. Now, this was when we can make these things. Let's be very careful with, now we cannot make samples for laundry. No. Let me rephrase that. Lotions, like the body line, we cannot make samples for those. We can make scent soak samples, though. We cannot make samples of room spray because we cannot take the top part off. But before that, we can do that. Now we can't do it. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about making samples. There is a FAQ on the samples that you can and cannot make. So please read that before you just go and start making samples. I don't want anybody to get in trouble. But back then, that was allowed. Now it's not. So I no longer make certain samples for certain lines. So yeah, I was up writing my label cards out. Just ordering stuff, like getting stuff to brand. And like I said, I had a whole different game plan when I came back. Branding to me was very important. Branding to me was very important because I'm like, I got to get my business out there. Because if me and my sponsor live so close, we're gonna eventually run into the same people. And which we probably did, come to find out, but excuse me, come to find out we actually did at one point in time. But it was great. It was still fine. Her customers are her customer, my customers are my customers, and we worked this town out together. Because I'm pretty sure there are other Scentsy consultants in this town anyway. But I did that, so I had a really great party. So now, moving forward, I've done 2 world tours, 1 SFR as of right now. Prayerfully, we get to go to the next SFR in July. Now my business mindset is completely different. I was not about team building back then. Now I'm all about team building. I'm all about growing my team. I'm all about maximizing my business the best way possible because I literally want to do Scentsy full time. My ultimate end goal, my nose is itching, I have to sneeze so bad, I'm sorry. My ultimate end goal is to do Scentsy full time. I love my job, don't get me wrong. I love Scentsy though. I love to have the flexibility to, maybe I don't want to put on pants. Maybe I don't want to go outside. Maybe I don't want to do certain things. And with Scentsy being full time, I won't have to not all the time go outside. I can run my entire business from my phone out of my pretty little office. So with that being said, moving forward, I have a completely different mindset for my Scentsy business. This is now the growth that I went from when I very first started to now. When I first started, I was just like, okay, whatever this Scentsy thing is, I'm going to do it. Like I said, I was in another business, so I'm thinking, oh, I know how to do this. Oh, it's easy. Oh, it's this. No, it's not. You have to put in work. You have to put in work. You just can't just be like, oh, I'm not going to do anything this month and I'm going to make a ton of money. If that is you, I need to talk to you because I want to know how you do that. I have monthly parties that go on every month. I reach out to people. I'm getting a better follow-up system now. And these are all things I never, ever, 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 ever had in the past. Like never even thought about them. Now I have just a different mindset, everything is different for me because I want to do this. Like I have no choice but to make my business work. I'm working so hard right now just to make my business keep going. Like I could easily stop at any time. Like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. This is becoming too much. I will never, ever, ever do that. I can say though, thank God, knock on wood though, that I have never fell off again. I never even came close to falling off after the very first time. That was a very hard lesson because then a part of me also felt like I wasted money because I'm like, I can't do anything with it. That's when everybody wanted to call me and buy Scentsy, and that's when I became like the Scentsy girl. I did have a job at the time. I did. I had like a little retail job or whatever. But I was literally just like, oh my goodness gracious, what am I gonna do? So as soon as I fell inactive, I got 3 phone calls about people wanting to buy Scentsy. And I was just like, seriously? And I couldn't do it. So I think that was also a light bulb in my head. And I was like, dude, you just lost 3 opportunities to make some money. What are you doing? What are you doing? So I came home and I was like, okay, I really want to do Scentsy. And I just wrote down everything that I wanted to do. Everything that I wanted to do in my business, everything that I wanted to see happen in my business. And my end goal is to do Scentsy full time. So that's what I'm working towards. So now a part of me doing Scentsy full time is I have to build my team. Remember I told y'all before, building a team was never my cup of tea. I did not want that. I didn't want no parts of that. I just wanted to sell a couple of warmers and some wax bars and call it a day. Make my qualifying numbers and just go about my business. Not really have to talk to people. I don't mind doing the events, but that's about it. I was not even really big on selling my product off my table. Now, I will sell you anything. Now, I will talk to you about anything. Now, I'm very open about the business. I have more fun with the business. I literally have a totally different... excuse me. Thank you. Mindset about the business. Thank you. Excuse me. Totally different mindset about the business, and I love every minute of it. I am praying that we do have SFR this year. I went last year, and that was just... excuse me. I've been trying to sneeze for at least the past 5 minutes now. I'm sorry about that. But SFR for me was mind-blowing. Like, World Tour was one thing, and everybody at World Tour told me I have to go to SFR. And it was in Montana. It was like close. It was in Austin. So I went. It's great. I will never regret going to SFR. I will never regret that trip at all. I made many, many sacrifices to make it, and I will make those sacrifices to keep going. All right, I think I'm done with the sneezing. So with that being said, me now, currently, present day, I eat, sleep, and dream Scentsy. Everything I do revolves around my Scentsy business. I have 2 people under me now. Super excited about that. I'm literally trying so hard to grow my team so that I can promote, so that I can get level 1, so that I can get level 2, so that I can get level 3, and even top 150. You know. But I'm super excited about the business. Every day I have to work my business some shape, way, and form. So I do that every single day for about 15 minutes to 45 minutes minimum. I usually go longer, but because my work shift changed, I'm getting ready to create office hours, and I'm getting create, like, I was given so many opportunities now that I wasn't really given before when I first had started. I wasn't really given those opportunities, or I didn't seek those opportunities, because I don't want anybody to think they have to give me anything. I'm all about working really, really hard to get what I want, to get where I need to go. I want to be able to show my daughter that you can do anything that you want to do, that you put your mind to. Yes, mommy worked really, really hard. And yes, you know, I put in all this work in Scentsy, and this is where Scentsy got us. Like, you know, I try to teach her, you know, to be your own person. And that's what Scentsy is teaching me. Scentsy is teaching me to be true to who I am. And that is literally what I've been doing this whole time since I come back. So I came back in September. So I've been back officially for a year. October, November, December, January, February, March. A year and 6 months. So super excited about that. Came back in September. And I've been going hard ever since. Like, literally, from me joining in February to falling inactive for 92 days. And that was a really hard 92 days for me. I took it harder because I was so close to reaching that goal. Kind of felt like, if I can't do this, I can't do this all the time. So maybe me thinking about doing this full time should not even be a thought process for me. Maybe, you know, there was tons of doubt. You know how doubt plays when you are focused. Doubt plays a strong role anyways. So that sucked. But then when I came back, I was like I said, I had a totally different mindset. I redid all of my training videos from the very first time. I took better notes. And I just, like I said, my sponsor is amazing. She answers all of my questions. She's teaching me how to be a better sponsor to my team. What else? It's just great. I love everything about Scentsy. Now my goal is to promote. Again, my goal is to build my team. Again, those are things that I never, first of all, I didn't even know you could promote with Scentsy. I didn't even know that was a thing until I did it, and that was epically amazing. I say all that to say this. Scentsy for me has taught me a ton of things, but one of those things is to never, ever, 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 ever give up on what you want to do. You have to be true and authentic to yourself in order to make this work. You cannot do what you see other people do. You can be like, hey, how did you do that? And if it's a nice person, they'll go ahead and they'll give you tips and stuff like that. And sometimes some people don't. And I'm not saying this is in the Scentsy world. I'm just saying in general. Some people might not want to help. So then you just keep going. Don't let that discourage you. If you stumble upon a way, that's okay. Get back up. Just keep going. That was what I did not get. I did not get the keep going part. I got the you're inactive. Oh, you're stuck. Oh, wait, you can come back. And then my comeback has been stronger. I keep up with my Scent in 1 Month a Month club. I keep in contact with my customers. My customer base is growing. Like I said, I have 2 people under me. And the funny part about it is my very first sponsor is now under me, and I love it. She's doing really well in her business. I have another young lady under me. She's doing really well in her business. So now I'm just trying to grow my team and see where this business takes me. Like I said, I love everything about Scentsy. I want to do Scentsy full time. I will do Scentsy full time. It is going to happen. One of those things I realize is I gotta build my team. So that is what I'm doing. Just tons of team building and tons of reaching out to people and talking to people and building my customer base and having fun while doing it. Scentsy is so much fun. I use my products. I love the products. I am everything Scentsy. And I don't have on a Scentsy shirt today, but that's okay. I just got back in. And I decided to do this because I've been putting it off for so long. So that is me. That is my Scentsy story. And that is my Scentsy journey. And I have to, at this point, revamp my story again because my goals have changed. Basically, I want this to be my forever. So that is one of my goals that has changed. Before it was just like, oh, this is fun. And now I'm just like, nope, I love it. And that's what I'm doing. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can always go ahead and contact me directly. And I'll answer any of those questions that you have. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope something I said kind of makes you even want to think about the Scentsy company or joining my team or anything in between. I'll be here for it.